welcome back. This is Module 3, Step 3, and we're talking about the 5-step network marketing online blueprint. I just said earlier on the previous video that I am about to share with you what I think is the most exciting slide or picture of the entire course, and here it is. It's absolutely beautiful because it explains everything that we've talked about. So I am going to do a recap for you from the very beginning until just now. It all started because now you've decided that you want to build online. You've decided that you need a source, unlimited source of qualified leads. And you understand now that you can do paid advertising on Facebook if you open a fan page or a business page. And this is probably where you would have your first video. And again, it could be a video that is already provided by your company. So it's not something that you have to do yourself. Most good network marketing companies have several promotional videos. So pick one that you think will do the job, and then incorporate that either in your Facebook ad and or incorporate that into your opt-in page. So if the prospect that sees your ad on Facebook is interested, they will actually click on that little button at the bottom of your ad, and it's a CTA or call to action. And in this case, it could be something like learn more. So when they click on that, there's a hyperlink behind the button that brings your prospect straight to your one-page website called the landing page, and for the purpose of this course we call it an opt-in page. And the reason why we call it an opt-in page, again, it's because this is where we start collecting emails. This is where there is an exchange for the first time between the prospect and yourself, because they are curious now through your ad, through your opt-in page. There's something there that they want to know, like you've touched a chord, and they're just like they are willing to give you their email in exchange for having access to that information. So they go ahead, they put their email in that opt-in box, they click enter, and then it goes right away to your Autoresponder software management provider. And what happens when they do that is their email goes into your brand new database. So it could be actually your very first lead, your very first prospect that goes into your database. So that's one purpose for starting to collect email. The second purpose is you've promised, in exchange for their email, you've promised to provide them with additional valuable free content. And so again, it could be your company's opportunity video that you've broken down into 3 parts, and you uploaded that on YouTube and or on video, or again, some companies will actually just provide you a link because the video is in on the company's server, and you have a link, a hyperlink that you can just put in your autoresponder. So that is the purpose of the very first autoresponder, is a summary, a seamless summary of either the information on your Facebook ad or the information on your opt-in page. So it's maybe just 1 or 2 small paragraphs, and the key information here is a hyperlink that will allow your prospect, when they click on it, to go to your video part 1 for your opportunity. And then we've been talking about sequencing the story, and a good way to do that is, again, to spread 3 parts over 3 days. So if this is the case and you've decided to use that strategy, then you would be releasing automatically part 2 of the video 24 hours after they've seen the first part. So that would be your second autoresponder. The third autoresponder would be, of course, the third part of your opportunity, which again would be 24 hours later, followed by yet again another autoresponder, and that would be your irresistible offer. That would be you presenting your opportunity, the actual offer, to your prospects, and enticing them to either purchase your product, purchase your service, or to actually team up with you as a new associate. So at this point, you've done everything right. But remember, even in traditional network marketing, there's a lot of people who stop there. Are you interested? Yes or no? And then they think that the process ends there. But now we know that's not the case. Most of the sales happen after the 5th or 7th follow-up. So this is where you start building the autoresponder. You've already done all the work, so all these emails are actually sitting on the server. And the first follow-up is just, again, to say, I'm here. The opportunity is still there, and we'd love to hear from you. And you take the opportunity to address what you think might be a concern of theirs, might be a question that they have, and in a very short way, in a very small paragraph, you address that information, knowing that it will probably take 4 or 5 or 6 more follow-up for them to really feel comfortable. And in the process, because you're staying in touch with them, again, allows you to build to build trust, to build credibility, and to get some traction in terms of building your brand and your social proof. And that is how you actually schedule your follow-up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and if you want to go further, 6, 7, all the way to 10 or 12 or 15. In fact, if you wanted to keep them in your funnel, you could do that. You don't want to do that forever because people will actually get annoyed. So that's the reason why we've got 2 different output at the bottom of this funnel. So typically, by the time you get to follow up 4, 5, or 6, people are ready to make a decision. Either no, I'm not interested, or yes, count me in, I want to purchase your products, or again, I want to team up with you as a new associate. So if they have purchased your product, or if they've if they decided to become an associate with you, then you would take them on a different list and start feeding them different information. If they decide not to at this point in time, you just don't delete their email. They might not be in the looking zone right now. Maybe their daughter's getting married. Maybe they're finishing their degree. Maybe they're moving to another city. Maybe they're pregnant. There could be all sorts of reasons why they have a very valid reason for not wanting to do that right now. It doesn't mean they're not interested. It just means they're not interested right now. So then you keep the people who have said no to you, you keep them in a separate database. And then what you will do with them is you will continue to feed them information over time. And then a good way to do that is, say once a week, you send them an autoresponder. And it's very short, very brief. And again, it's one way for you to stay with them. It's one way for you to continue to build trust. But always remember, if you do that, and if you keep in touch with people who've said no through autoresponder, make sure you don't keep selling them, because this is annoying. So what you want to do instead is you want to continue to provide good, valuable, free content. We talked about you having a Facebook page, a business page. So remember the 1/3, 1/3, 1/3? Well, 1/3 was personal, 1/3 was industry specific to what you do, health and wellness or finance or otherwise. And then the last third is your company specific. So the 1/3 that is really about industry specific in terms of, again, either whether it's health and wellness or weight management or anti-aging or financial services or you name it, this is some of the information, because it's good information, right? So you take some of those posts that you've got on your fan page or business page, and you actually cut and paste that into some autoresponder. And that's one way to continue to entice your prospect and to let them know that you're there. And you never know when things are going to change for them. So you allow yourself months, maybe 6 months or 12 months down the road, you allow yourself to maybe get them into a different campaign, because by then, maybe, just maybe, they might be in a different zone, and they might actually be very receptive to what you offer. So here's a good visual, again, of what a autoresponder software management could look at. Actually, this is real. This is one of our campaign just before we started. It was all set up. It was ready to launch. And so these are the different autoresponder that we have. And if you look at the very first one, video 1, for instance, and if you look at that little calendar on sort of the right-hand side of the screen, it says 1 in the calendar. That means that this video will be released to the prospect who left their email with us on the pop-up box. That video will be released to them 1 day after we received their email. And then the next video will be released 3 days later, and then 5 days later, and so on and so forth. So that is how you do it. And if you click on the calendar and if you click on the different options, it will give you more options to schedule even the time of the day. You might want to do this before people go to work, so you release the email at 7 a.m. or you might prefer to do it at 7 p.m. or you decide. Or you might, for the week, the autoresponder that go out weekly, you want to do it on a weekday or on a weekend. So you've got all these options. And on the left, you see a very small icon of the content of that email or autoresponder. So let's click on it, and actually that's the pop-up window. And this is where you can actually put in the text. Now again, this is a real autoresponder. This is a real campaign that we have done here at the Network Marketing Online Academy. And so this is just to give you an example. We just wanted to share with you, and those hyperlink that you see now, again, that's the meat of that autoresponder. It's to give people access to a video that will continue to expand on the topic. And so that's it. It could be that simple. As you can see, the email per se is not that long. It's not rocket science. And you already have, I'm sure you've received with your company some training, and there is probably even some scripts sometimes that you can use and you can tweak ever so slightly to that, and that could become the content of your autoresponder. We said earlier that, again, email or autoresponder software provider, also called email marketing provider, we just want to make it easy for you. You've got 4 of those guys actually on the screen right now. And again, disclaimer, we are not affiliates with any of these companies. We just know that they work, and we actually do use one of those 4 provider. So it's not just there in theory. We actually use one of them for our campaigns. And they all work. They are all very good, slightly different, but basically they all do the job. So it's a good way for you to continue to grow and to nurture your prospect, to build your email list, and to start getting a brand name and social proof with your list of prospects. So this basically is a very important module, to the extent that you're starting to see exactly how things falls into place. It might be a little bit overwhelming if you hear this for the first time. If so, please give it 24 hours and then watch this video again. But as you start to digest this information, you will realize that it's really not that complicated. And it's the sequence, and it's the structure, and it's the fact that it's duplicable that makes it so attractive. You can't fail. No rejections, no frustrations, no no-shows. It's a beautiful way of building your business, not just for yourself, but again, for your team members. So on this note, again, we thank you very much for your time, and we will see you in the next video.